This is episode 9. What is the best local SEO strategy to target multiple cities without hurting your rankings? Welcome to the Calm Marketer Podcast. My name is Kenneth Fong, a digital marketer on a mission to help businesses thrive. I'll bring you on my marketing journey where you'll get to learn from my experiences as an INFP navigating an extroverted world and get actionable marketing tips for your business. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now let's begin. Local SEO, city pages. So are city pages good or bad for SEO? I wanted to talk about this topic today because I know this week, especially yesterday, I've been kind of focusing on e-commerce SEO. And today I wanted to touch a little bit on local businesses and provide you guys with some tips if you have a local business versus an online store. So you may have heard of city pages or location pages. And ever since about 2012, 2013, I've been building these and leveraging location pages as a really good strategy to rank for other cities for a business. Now, people say it's bad, and I agree, it is bad for SEO if you do it the wrong way. It's good for SEO if you do it the right way. Just recently, I've been working on a location page strategy for a client. So we have about 5 location pages that have been created, and and they were asking, okay, so how are we going to leverage these 5 pieces of content? What are we going to do with them? Where are we going to be placing them? And to provide a really solid answer with strategy, what I did was I tried to look at their competitors to see what is their local location page strategy looking like. Because I know that there's a lot of location pages that I've noticed rank for their competitors. So in one particular competitor, I found one of their location pages and I plugged in their URL in Screaming Frog to look at their structure, their internal linking structure. Like, where are they placing them? Where are they located on the site? And I put the first one in, and the only internal link was just a canonical tag. Like, there was no internal links. So I was kind of wondering, that's strange. So then I found another location page and I put that into Screaming Frog, and same thing. So I was questioning, like, am I doing this correctly, or am I missing something in terms of the settings of this tool? So then I turned on the feature to allow the crawler to crawl the sitemaps. And before that, I was kind of looking on the site manually as well. And I was thinking, maybe maybe they're not, ranking. I even did a site search in google.com trying to see, if there are pages on the site that are mentioning a particular city. If there are, what I was going to do is go to those pages and see if they are linking to the location page, but I couldn't find any. So I was thinking, maybe it's in the sitemap. So I did look in the sitemap manually, and lo and behold, instead of the 80 some pages that I thought the site contained, there were almost 1,000 pages. And there were only about 80 some pages according to Screaming Frog and according to Google. And then I turned on the feature in Screaming Frog to allow for the site search, for the sitemap. So it crawled the sitemap, And yeah, there were close to 1,000 pages that Screaming Frog analyzed. And all of their location pages are not linked on the pages themselves, but they are linked on the sitemap. So I was like, wow, that's interesting, because they just added these duplicate, and they're duplicate content too. So they basically just changed the city name and everything else was the same. And it was just all in the sitemap. And I was pretty shocked, because this particular website, I noticed, ranked for a lot of the keywords that we are trying to rank for this particular client. And I knew that they were doing something good, but I didn't know they were doing kind of like this more shady tactic where they were just uploading the local pages, the location pages on the sitemap. And so I gathered my data. I looked at my client's website to see what areas make sense to add a link to this page, to these new location pages that we created for them. So um, my recommendation was to add these pages on the sitemap, of course. Also, to link to these new pages from other pages on the site that mention the city name and have relevant content that's similar to that particular service. And to also mention it um, in the footer area. Now, this one I know might be a little bit gray, but in the footer, they do have cities that they serve. And one recommendation was to add it, to link those cities and link to these new location pages, because it makes sense, right? And lastly, to update their FAQ section. So in their FAQ section, there is a question that asks, like, I think it was something along the lines of, what locations do you serve? Or, do you serve these locations? Something like that. So my recommendation was to add those location pages, the links to those location pages on that FAQ section, to help answer that particular question that's already on that page. So that's my recommendation to them. And some additional things that you need to do to make sure that you aren't hurting your SEO or hurting your keyword rankings by doing this location page strategy. So I recommend a couple of things. First thing is to make each city page unique. Don't just copy and paste. Make sure that you are writing content that fits that particular city. So that content depends on what niche you are serving and what's your service, right? So you can talk about the weather, you can talk about maybe certain businesses in that city, certain events, certain trending news, certain like locations or crossroads, main roads that cross through the city, anything that makes that particular city unique. You want to point that out and tie it with your service, right? As long as it's relevant, as long as you tie it with your service, you're good. Next thing is to leverage internal linking. And I briefly mentioned this earlier. So make sure that you are properly linking to your city page in the right way. So make sure that all the internal links are coming from pages that are relevant to that particular service and city. You don't want to link to, for example, you have a pest control, like a local pest control. Maybe you might say, I don't know. I used to have a pest control client about 6 years ago. I don't remember the biggest terms, but I know ants, ant control, you know, um, ant control Los Angeles, ant control in Santa Monica, things like that. You don't want to link to an ant page to a rat page, right? Because they're two different services, ant versus rat. So you want to make sure all of the location pages are linking according to a particular keyword theme or a particular topic, right? You don't want to mix and match. You want to make things very seamless in terms of the pages that are linking to each other. They should be similar. And also, as a more general rule, is to use and leverage your Google My Business. So make sure it's optimized. It's not that hard to optimize your Google My Business. Just leverage all the features that they have, and they're constantly updating Google My Business with new updates, new features, and you want to make sure you are leveraging those features. So post on a regular basis, ask people to leave reviews. That's really important. I think Google recently published a report saying that they do look at the reviews to determine how well they rank you in the map section of Google. So make sure you have reviews. It doesn't just help your rankings, but it helps your business overall. It helps your reputation. So make sure you are doing that. And make sure you are linking to your Google My Business on your site as well. So make sure you have a map integration on your site and that you're linking to it, and vice versa. So make sure you're linking to your site from your Google My Business. That'll help with linking. So Google, these city pages definitely help. They help. They work. Many competitive industries are using this very, very heavily. Some better than others. There are some people out there that are doing it in a very black hat, gray hat way, and I don't recommend that. I recommend doing it in a way that helps the users and provides value and doesn't look spammy, because you don't want to look spammy. So hopefully you thought this was helpful. I did want to update you on my outreach strategy. So on a completely different note here, I want to update you on my strategy for outreaching to new businesses in the e-commerce space. So I told you that I was going to reach out to these meditation supply websites. So I've been kind of building out a list of websites that are that have created Google ads for their business. Reason why I'm focusing on them first is because I know that they already have been doing marketing. They have the funds to do marketing, and focus on them, and also focus on the other pages that have pretty good traffic as well. Honestly, I could tell you right now, I have not done the actual outreach. I know it's been almost, I think I mentioned this back in, 3-4 episodes ago, but I haven't actually reached out to anyone yet. I know that's my INFP side, just wanting to do everything perfect, plan everything out before actually doing it. I've been busy with some client work, but my goal is to outreach to these e-commerce sites as soon as I can. I know holiday season is right here, so they might need my help. So I need to reach out to them, and that's kind of like my goal for these upcoming days, is to actually reach out to these e-commerce companies and see if they need my help. And I will let you know, what the response is, and how that all is turning out. So with that said, I will see you on the next episode.